So we always start by saying person's name. Why did you choose this film?
My name's Fernando. I'm Malcolm. I chose this film because it was suggested, and I'm not sure if it was a film club. It was definitely not a film club, but we did gather to watch films during one of my summer research programs here when I was in undergrad. With other people from the School of Mathematics. And I'm not sure I attended that time.
Oh, okay.
And that is why I wanted to watch it. And I don't think I had watched it before, but I really liked it. Especially, I did like it. Yes, that is why I chose it.
That's cool. Good reason as any. And you did enjoy it. Now that you see it,
I did enjoy it. I also did not watch the Pan's Labyrinth Maze. I think that was the first film that we gathered, or that we were meant to watch together, but I also did not go that time.
I liked Pan's Labyrinth.
I did watch it afterwards,
I also enjoyed Pan's
but I did not
Labyrinth.
enjoy it.
And I would say they're very comparable films in some ways.
Oh.
There are a lot of similarities between Pan's Labyrinth and The Fall. At least I think so. Did anyone else get that?
I didn't pick up on that.
I didn't at the time, but I read a review afterwards that said it was like taking a wrong turn out of Pan's Labyrinth. So
Okay.
Someone else did.
Yeah. Oh, it's not just me. Yeah.
Taking a wrong turn after Pan's Labyrinth.
The person whose review I read did not care for the film.
No. Yeah, it was not as good as Pan's Labyrinth, but it did remind me of Pan's Labyrinth.
It did not remind me of that picture at all, that movie at all.
Mm-hmm.
Reminded me of Princess Diaries, but not of...
Princess Diaries?
Yeah,
Do you mean The Princess Bride?
yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, I got that vibe as well, but it was mostly just because it was a story within a story.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was that.
Yeah.
But also it had this sort of troubled little girl.
The Anne Hathaway film about.
Oh, that's what... No, it's not the one.
With Julie Andrews as the Queen of
Genovia.
Genovia. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was...
Which is the film I will be picking for my... No.
I wouldn't say no. Yeah. It was...
I hate a story within a story.
You hate a story within a
story within a story. I have no patience for it.
I think it's quite a good way of telling stories sometimes. It reminded me of that film was actually not so bad, about the little girl in Afghanistan.
About who?
Oh, the one we watched.
The one we watched together.
Oh, the
Breadwinner.
Ah.
It reminded me of that in the in the sense that there was this very real story of what was happening. At times quite a sad story. But at the same time there was this fairy tale that was being told in bits and pieces as we go through it. But you don't like that?
Most of the time I find it irritating to have the narrative stopped
Okay.
and have a different one resumed.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't really care for books where the chapters change. Main character, the point of view changes every chapter. Did I say
My book has the point of view change every chapter.
I don't mind it, but it means that each character has to be as interesting, and the stories need to be as interesting, and they all need to weave together very well for you to care about it. Otherwise, it's just every time there's a new chapter, you're like, ugh.
Oh, it's this one again.
Like Game of Thrones is the worst one.
Yeah, and you see
so
Arya,
many.
and you're like, oh god,
Beyond
another fucking Arya chapter.
Yeah,
What about the Bible where it changes?
the Bible, exactly,
Yeah.
Fernando, exactly.
It's not a page turn of the Bible. So you, what was the storyline you enjoyed more in this film?
100% I enjoyed the hospital story more.
Yeah, me too.
And I became very frustrated each time that we cut back to the fantasy narrative, which I should have enjoyed because I love fantasy, but I did not enjoy that aspect of the film because I thought that it was plot-wise weak.
It was not a very good
Visually,
story.
it was amazing, but the
I
story
agree.
was terrible.
And I think the story was even supposed to be terrible. I think they made, sort of subtly, they dropped in a lot of mistakes that the storyteller was making. Like how the characters' nationalities would change sometimes just if he changed his mind. And they were all from countries that the storyteller obviously didn't know very much about, and he seemed to confuse Indians and Indians. He had Native Americans and sort of also people from India, and this one character was sort of both of them.
It was the little girl who was misinterpreting Indian.
Oh.
So it was her imagination that we saw.
Oh, that was her imagination.
So she misinterpreted Indian. I don't know though.
Okay. Oh, that would sort of make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because he talks about squaws and stuff, doesn't he? So in the story, it's a Native American.
And the guy's
sense
sort of
Indian.
in front of the Taj Mahal or something.
Yeah. So when she's imagining it, she's misunderstanding Indian.
What did you think, Fernando?
I believe that it is the girl who is misunderstanding.
Yeah.
But I was also misunderstanding because it was not until I read the review by someone else that I realized that it was a mistake to portray the Indian as an Indian. I watched the first, as in I tried rewatching it again, and I still got confused in I did not know why it was meant to be a Native American until I started looking for the meaning of certain words like squaw.
Yeah.
But had I not done that and had I not read the review, I would have also thought that it was a person from India.
Yeah, okay. Just like the little girl thought
Yes.
that. As maybe not critical for understanding the film, and I think that's a subtle point that it would have been easy to miss.
Especially if you hadn't heard the word squall, which is what could...
I only know that from Calamity Jane.
Yeah. Peter Pan, I think.
Okay.
I have not read Peter Pan.
But what did you think of the story within a story?
I loved it. I love things within things.
Excellent. I love things within
Russian
things.
dolls.
Yes.
Sometimes it's okay, but
not
got high
usually.
standards for it.
Okay. That's actually a really good story if you're going to put it in
They
another
both have
story.
to be very good stories, yeah.
Okay.
How do you feel about the stories you get in Watership Down?
Oh, well, I do enjoy them, actually. Okay. I don't really enjoy them so much when I'm reading them, actually. I feel like they get in the way a bit.
Yeah,
but, on their own.
the narrative a little bit.
It feels like it's half the book is just those bits in
Yeah.
Watership Down, and they do drag on.
Yes, while I'm reading, actually, I find they do drag, but I do enjoy the mythic element.
They have a book of just stories.
Oh yeah. So how much of the Fall was just this fantasy story? It was about half the screen time. It felt like it.
Felt like more.
Was it mostly
I'd
the
say about
fantasy
half
story?
for me, probably.
Yeah. And that is a shame because it really is not that good. As you said, visually it's amazing, and maybe Fernando disagrees with me, but I found that story to be just meandering and sort of confusing, difficult to follow, not very engaging, and I didn't really care about any of the people in it because it was a very simplistic story for a small child. But maybe you felt differently.
I suppose I did not analyze this story, and what is it that I was enjoying? I was enjoying all the landscapes and the music.
The visuals were good.
I agree that it wasn't. As in now that you mention it, I agree that perhaps it wasn't a good story.
It was beautiful.
But I suppose I wasn't enjoying it because it was a good story. I was just enjoying it because I enjoyed listening to people tell stories. I think it was yesterday that I asked Craig, one of my elf's mates, for a story, and he told me the nativity story, which I've heard many times, but I still enjoyed it because he was telling it to me.
That's nice. Storytelling.
Makes me fall asleep
Yes, it does.
almost instantly.
If I ever read out loud to Claire while she's in bed, I usually sometimes I've not even got to the end of the first page and I hear her breathing change and she's just asleep. Sometimes I get a few pages in, but
Yeah.
Never lasts long.
That's really sweet. Yeah. But yeah, this one, I didn't feel it wasn't even much of a story. That's my problem with it. It was just a compilation of screensaver shots of these landscapes.
Yeah.
I felt like it was just a...
I think that was actually what it was also meant to be.
Oh yes, I'm sure it was, but...
No, I mean, the person telling the story, I mean, he clearly acknowledged that it was just a made-up story to make her do things that he wanted her to do.
Then why should I care about it?
Yeah, why did we have to watch so much of it? Would be my question.
Well, the other story wasn't that interesting either. I mean, it was just him trying to get some morphine to commit suicide.
Oh, I found it interesting, I think, because I felt that the characters were a lot more developed.
Yeah.
And the little girl was certainly so interesting to watch.
I
She was
found
so
the little
adorable.
girl very interesting.
Yeah.
And very realistic somehow. What did you like about the little girl?
It was just also very natural, like, she was just so endearing. Very
I like the
sweet.
way it seemed like the actor playing the little girl herself didn't really speak English properly, and she'd make these little mistakes and not quite understand things. It seemed like she hadn't learned the script entirely. They'd sort of done these scenes, and there'd be scenes where he's trying to explain something to her and she just misunderstands it in weird ways. It was very cute. I really liked it. But also, yeah, I really felt like I got a bit of a handle on the way that she observed everything around her was very... She was very curious and very childlike in a very realistic way. I'm thinking about her putting her finger up to the light bulb and closing one eye and closing the other to make it look like her thumb was moving from side to side, or looking at light coming through the keyhole and noticing that it projects an upside down horse there, and of course observing loads of really frightening stuff happening in the hospital around her.
That's traumatizing. And I liked watching her interact with the other patients as well. It was interesting, especially the old man, which was...
Yeah.
That was...
What I wasn't... maybe it was supposed to be a bit difficult to understand. I didn't quite understand what was happening with the rest of them. With the guy who wanted the morphine, he jumped off a bridge and there was a horse, and it seemed like quite a few of the other people in the hospital had been involved in the same incident, but I didn't quite understand what that incident was and whether it was deliberate or whether it was a suicide attempt or a stunt in a movie. Or
Stunt in a movie?
Yeah, I think it was a stunt.
it was a stunt in a movie and it went wrong.
Yes.
And he hurt himself, and they managed to fish the horse and the people back out. But there were other people. Was the old man involved somehow?
I don't think so. I think it was only him in the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, I certainly didn't think so.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't totally follow the plot, which is a shame. We haven't really heard from you, Claire. What did you think of the film?
Yeah, I didn't really get a lot out of the film, to be honest.
You didn't like it?
No, I'm not very good with fantasy in general. So I found the fantasy story quite wearing. Because unless it's like incredibly well done, I find fantasy just silly.
Yeah.
Just like, well, and I liked the little girl. I thought she was a cool character. She was fun. She was a little bit naughty, but also, you know, wanted to do the right thing and stuff. But I don't think they did. Yeah, I didn't like the guy. I didn't find him engaging, and so I felt like she was just sort of this interesting character just in a story that I wasn't that taken by. I also thought he was a terrible, terrible person.
He made some mistakes.
Well,
Did some bad things.
The thing that got me was when he like tried to blackmail her with like, well, you stole the bread from church. That's no better than stealing like
Was he blackmailing her, or was he just trying to
Well, it was like
put her at
emotional
ease and
blackmail.
convince her that it's not such a bad thing to do?
No, I think he was tricking her into thinking it was not such a bad thing to do.
Yeah, it certainly was tricking her.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, no, I don't think he was threatening to tell, but I think he was like
Extremely manipulative.
manipulating her
Yeah.
emotions. So yeah, I probably didn't enjoy the film. Would be my conclusion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, I think I did enjoy quite a lot of the film, but I wish that the cutaway scenes had a lot more plot.
Or there'd just been less of them.
Or there'd been less of them.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. Again, I'm very adamant that a cutaway scene should have a good plot.
Yeah, okay.
Or it's just a waste of time.
Yeah, fair
But
enough.
then maybe I just don't appreciate beautiful cinematography as much as the next
Not
person.
that I know anything about beautiful cinematography.
Well, yeah,
But you
I
enjoyed it.
Yeah,
You
it was
enjoyed it.
objectively very beautiful.
You enjoyed
cinematography.
Song to Song, so you must get
That's
something
true.
I
out
loved
of
it.
That did- I
just
did
beautiful
get
cinematography
flashbacks.
and nothing else.
That is true. That is true. Well, maybe I do know something about beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, song to song.
We have very different film priorities.
What a film. So can someone explain to me what happened at the end? So she'd fallen off the thing trying to get more morphine, and then when she woke up, he was there somehow, and he killed all the characters in the story, and then she was in the story, and then there were two people who looked quite similar, and one was the baddie and one was the goodie, the bandit. I couldn't figure out which one was meant to be him or whether both of them were meant to be him.
No, I
He
think
was-
he was the bandit.
Yeah.
He was the bandit, and the baddie was he
His-
outside the story?
Love rival in real life.
Was his
Yeah.
love rival in real life? Okay. And in the end, and he was the bandit was going to die in the story.
Yep. And she was begging them to not kill the bandit so that there would be some hope at the end of the story.
Yeah.
So he saved the bandit in the story.
And was that him deciding to go on living instead of committing suicide,
Yeah.
which is what he'd been trying to do?
Symbolism.
Yeah.
It's not time.
Well, if it's not time now, when will it be time?
Symbolism,
Symbolism, symbolism, symbolism!
I can't believe I forgot the bell again. I will never remember
I'm starting to
that
think
bell.
there isn't a bell.
There's a bell. There's two bells. They sent me two bloody bells.
Two bells.
Yeah, so we can all ring them. Well, actually, two of us
Hey,
can
where's
ring
your
them.
bag? You've got jingle bells, Michael.
Oh,
Symbolism. So the story that he was telling was something to do with real life.
Was it?
You've got to. If it wasn't, then we spent way too long on it in the film. So,
Yeah.
why did he want to commit suicide?
Because the love of his life had left him and he was paralysed.
I really needed to pay more attention. Or maybe I'd get it if I watched it again. The love of his life had left him. He was permanently paralysed.
It suggested that he was paralysed.
He certainly lost feeling in
Okay.
his feet.
Oh,
She
this
touched
is
his
why
feet.
he wanted her to touch his toes to see if he could figure it.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
and he couldn't get out of bed
Yeah, okay.
to go potty.
Until later when he was able at least to use a wheelchair.
That doesn't mean he's not paralysed from the waist down.
Yeah, fine. And so he decided not to kill himself, and then he went back to working in films at the end.
Don't think so.
I think he did. Didn't it say that?
Did it?
I thought it said that he went back to doing stunts in films, but for
Alright,
that he'd need
no, I
to be
missed
able
that.
to use his legs and stuff.
Depends
Um,
what the
Unless he
stunts
was
are.
being a stunt person for a wheelchair person.
Yeah, oh, we saw him jumping on and off horses and stuff, though.
Maybe he regained.
Unless those were
Oh,
his
no, I
old
don't
films.
think
That
real.
wasn't. Yeah.
Because she was just picturing him as a star in all of those films.
Oh, and that's why when we saw the films, they're fast, blurry, black and white films, so she can imagine that they were him, but really he was just still in the hospital. Yeah, okay. Yeah, don't we see him watching the films at the end?
They're watching, the film where he jumps off the bridge.
Oh.
Yeah.
They're all
And he's there watching as well,
Yeah.
isn't he? Yeah.
along with like the orderlies and stuff who'd been in the story.
Yeah, okay. Because they were all based on people
Yeah,
that
it was quite
she
like,
had seen.
somewhere over the rainbow. Sort of.
Yeah. Okay.
What's that called? Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz. Yeah. Some nice piano music.
Is it for symbolism?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's the symbolism tune.
Go out and tell them they'll need to come back every week. When they hear us chant, begin to play the piano.
And this is how the listeners know that we're not all the listeners. Know that
I
we're-
will.
They know that
I
we're not,
will.
they know that we're not cutting anything out because we wouldn't be able to cut it around the piano playing.
No, play.
So what other symbolism do we have? The butterflies. Who knows what they mean?
Oh yeah, he was looking.
So many butterflies.
Yeah, so Charles Darwin was one of the people, and we didn't
Yeah.
really see him.
The monkey tried to grab a butterfly.
Oh,
The
Yeah.
woman at one
Nice.
point was described as a butterfly.
Yeah, and the woman, the monkey, was also the little girl at some point, right?
Don't remember that.
Didn't
Yeah, I
she?
don't remember that either.
When she dropped into the story somewhere, wasn't she supposed to be the monkey?
Oh, when they were tied up.
Didn't she jump out of the bag?
Yeah, but that wasn't as the monkey, I don't think.
Okay, I figured she was jumping out of the bag because she was the monkey for that bit. I don't know.
Why did she suddenly have teeth?
Oh yeah, that was weird.
Oh, she had front teeth at the end of the film.
I guess maybe they were filming over such a long period of time that she got teeth.
Well,
Just
was
had
she
to go with it.
was she supposed to have been knocked out and
Just
like
knocked
in a
out.
coma for so long that her teeth had grown by the time she woke up?
Or did she have teeth in the end of the film? That's what
I
can't
thought that
remember.
was what you were saying.
In the cutaway, in the fantasy
Oh,
bits. She suddenly has
in
teeth.
your fantasy you'd have teeth, wouldn't you?
Maybe.
If you're using your imagination, you'd imagine yourself some teeth
Yeah.
if you
Alright.
wanted them.
Alright.
Or maybe it's symbolism.
The ice.
The
Being
ice. Oh,
something-
the ice, yeah.
Yeah, and the ice in the desert. There was a block of ice.
Was a lot of it just striking imagery, and that was it?
I don't know. I feel like oranges were significant
Oh,
as
yeah,
well.
definitely.
So many
What do
oranges.
the oranges mean?
I don't remember any oranges.
What?
Oh,
There's
there was
so many
a-
oranges.
There were the teeth in an orange at some
Yeah, the old
point.
man protested about an orange with his false teeth.
Yeah.
She's in the hospital because she was picking oranges and
Oh
fell.
yeah, she was working in the fields or
She
something.
fell, yeah. And then there's more oranges later.
Yeah, well, I thought that was going to be the story because she goes out, walks across the courtyard, and there's a massive orange delivery
Mm.
happening because she's dropped her note and
Uh-huh.
it floats above an orange
Oh yeah.
van. And then when she went in to see the man who had collected her note, the bad man that I don't like, he asked what happened to her, and she said, "Oh, I fell picking oranges." And I thought she had just made that up. I thought she just used like the most recent memory, and it was going to be a story of like trying to work out what's actually happened to her or something like that.
But no, she
But
just
then
fell
it wasn't
picking
that.
oranges.
She actually just fell picking oranges.
I wish you'd directed the fall.
Well, we can have our own adaptation of this.
Yeah,
one.
we could.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think this is actually an adaptation of another movie.
Another movie,
Yes.
also called The Fall.
No, called something else.
Something like Yo-Ho Ho?
Yes, maybe.
You've done your research.
Oh, sorry, I read one review.
Nice. So this
That-
appalling adaptation of Yo Ho Ho.
I'm just going to put my hat on because
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
You do look a bit like a squatter. But that's okay. A fabulous squatter at that. You got glittery
Indeed,
bits.
Yo Ho Ho.
Yo
A
Ho Ho.
Bulgarian film of 1981.
Wow.
Bulgarian
Yeah, they make films too.
in 1981.
Yeah.
There's a lot of poverty
Soviet
in Bulgaria. Oh, I suppose so. Yeah, I suppose in 1981.
Probably a lot less poverty
Yeah,
in
it's
1981.
probably. True.
Wow.
Interesting.
Cool. Do you know anything else about that film? No.
No.
Fair enough.
Cool.
What I wondered about, though, in the fantasy cutaway scenes was I felt that it was at times being a little bit racist and maybe a little bit sexist. Just
Okay.
the images of the, for instance, the mystic
Yeah.
and the escaped slave
Yeah.
were extremely exoticizing. Filled.
Yeah, they were definitely building on stereotypes, weren't they?
Yeah, and I don't feel like they deconstructed those in any way. They
No.
just used it as for striking imagery again, which I
Yeah,
often find
okay.
is the case when you're trying to create a kind of certain visual
Mm.
style. You rely on bold, striking images that resonate with people, and
Mm.
if you're doing it with stories of like slavery or African mysticism, it pulls on a lot of very colonial, racist tropes.
Yeah. I did feel like, so they were wandering for a while. I don't remember exactly when it happened, but they found like this little oasis, a little grassy bit, and I feel like he got paler, the mystic, at some point between like wandering the desert and reaching this place.
Mm.
And I just thought that was really straight. Like I didn't
I
understand.
think that was the decision that they made.
I just don't know. I don't know if it was supposed to be obvious or be a thing, or whether the lighting was different and I just
Yeah.
read into it.
Weird.
But there was definitely something really strange about that happening, and I don't understand it.
Because it makes sense that a sort of novice storyteller in what we reckon probably the early 1900s would have come up with with big stock characters. He'd have had these sorts of things. Did that come into it with this person's skin changing? They were changing nationalities halfway through, weren't they? Oh, he's not Spanish anymore, he's something else.
That was quite funny.
What was funny?
When they decided that he was French and not
Yeah,
Spanish, so
yeah.
he started speaking a French accent.
That's
Enjoyed
fun.
that moment.
Yeah. But overall,
Well, there was another moment I quite enjoyed in the fantasy scene, which was when he was shooting the nurse. Remember when he decided to, which was horrible, execute the nurse because she was engaged to his mortal enemy? But the little girl interrupts and says, "No, she can't die," and then they discover that the bullet didn't go through the...
Yeah.
That's quite funny.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, it's funny how you'd be seeing this happen and then one of the characters would say something and that's the storyteller saying something.
Yeah. It was quite cleverly done, actually, especially in the very first bit when they're just starting to tell a story and the camera is completely rotating. As he's deciding to add in a load more elements, they're just appearing through the circular camera. That was quite good.
Yeah. I don't know if I have much else to say about it. I'm sorry, I don't think I liked it.
Well, I think you.
I liked half of it quite a lot, and the other
Okay.
half I really didn't.
I didn't like it, but it's not a personal
Of course.
judgment. We've
No.
always
Yeah, I
recommended films based on... Well, it's not a recommendation, it's just a suggestion, isn't it?
Yeah. And it was interesting as well.
Mm.
It was worth watching.
Oh, definitely. I'm glad I've watched it. What else? I think.
Oh good, the piano stops so we can stop and have a thing.
It's no longer time for symbols.
Yeah, no more symbolism. What happened very literally.
Oh, the man with the sugar pills should have been in somewhere much better than just a hospital for like physical ailments. He clearly had issues with his mental health.
Did he?
Yeah, the guy that just kept saying I'm not well, and then she stole the tablets from his locker, and then they were sugar pills.
Yeah, that's even.
Oh, yeah, so I was trying to work this out. She stole those pills from him, and then he died. Didn't
No, I
he?
think he just fell asleep.
Okay.
And he woke up and he was really angry because he realised that they hadn't worked.
But
because they were just.
But someone else had died, right?
Yes,
and they
the
took
old
him out.
man had died.
The old man that they stole the pills from.
No.
No.
Definitely an old
Oh,
man.
okay, right.
Well, that wasn't an old man that they stole pills from. It was a young man.
Okay, I get it now. I thought the old man had died because they'd stolen his pills, and that doesn't make any
God.
sense if they're just sugar pills. Yeah, okay. How did the storyteller fall asleep to the point that she was prodding his face and yelling at him, and he still didn't wake up?
I guess he said
Even
he
though they
hadn't
were
been
just sugar
sleeping at
pills.
all.
So maybe just the placebo effect knocked him out.
Maybe. Who knows? Plot convenience, I think, is the answer.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I don't know why you need to answer for it.
Should we talk about the moral ambiguity of the main character?
Yes. You mean the guy in the bed?
Yes.
Yeah, not the little girl.
Not the little girl.
Yeah, he was cunning and manipulative.
Yes. Often unkind to her, I would say.
Mhm.
Even then.
Yeah, he was unkind.
Yeah, and I'm not sure I forgive him for the rage that he went into when he realised that his suicide attempt hadn't worked when the little girl was right next to him.
Yeah.
I also don't remember the little girl's name. Oh, Alexandria.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, he was at his wit's end. He was obviously going through some very dark emotions.
I
Well,
suppose so.
If all he did was shout in rage and upset the little girl, that's not the worst thing he did, probably.
certainly not in the film.
Yeah, getting her to steal stuff, that's
Getting her
not
to
great.
steal morphine so that he could kill himself was probably not.
Then again,
I love that she poured some of it away. I did think that was really funny.
I thought it was going to turn out that she'd kept it or something and she was lying about it, but I wasn't sure.
It was more 3.
Been 3. Yeah, he didn't get her to do anything dangerous, or at least he didn't think he was. As it turned out, she stood up due to a freak accident. She nearly died falling off the table. But he did just get her to go and steal some pills and bring them to him.
Well,
And
but that had terrible consequences. So is he not implicated in those terrible consequences in
what
some
were the
way?
terrible consequences?
Well, she almost died from falling off. She saw that
Oh, yeah.
traumatic moment where the mother was trying to wake her dead child.
Oh, was
Remember
that because she was there getting
Yeah.
the pills? Yeah, okay. I don't know if he could be held responsible for that. He wasn't to know that she'd fall off something. He wasn't to know that she might easily have seen something frightening like that without having gone in there. It's just that he was getting her to steal, and surely when she grew up and understood that she'd killed someone, that would upset. That would be a terrible thing to have put onto her.
Yeah, I think the idea of using a young child just like a tool, just having no consideration for what it is you're making her do. You're supposed to protect little people, kind of not get them to do the stealing that you can't do and stuff like that.
Yeah. Did he have some affection for her?
I think so.
Yeah, he certainly acted like he did, and I felt like it wasn't entirely a show.
Mm-hmm.
I think he enjoyed talking to her and telling her the story, at least sometimes. And I think, we discovered at the end, after she woke up and he was killing off these characters, he really cared what she thought.
Yeah.
And in the end, maybe she saved his life by making him think differently.
Yeah.
What do you think, Fernando?
Yes, I think he did care for her, and he did apologise when he shouted at her.
Yeah.
And he also did defend her when someone else was being mean to her, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the nasty man was shouting at her, and he snapped at him and gave him a good telling.
That's true.
Yeah. I think I've got time for him.
Yeah, I didn't hate him.
But he needs... I think in different circumstances he seems like he would have been a nice man. But
I certainly found him quite charming.
Mm.
Both of them together were very charming.
Yeah, they were cute.
Yeah.
I wanted to see more of those two.
Mm.
In the end, I don't think it was enough to... What was it, about an hour and 45 minutes the film was?
Yeah.
And I don't think there was enough to keep me interested for all that time. Sadly.
I felt my attention was very much held when it was the two of them.
Okay. I think there was too much that I got confused by.
It was confusing. I was
It
quite
was confusing.
confused.
I don't think that was just because I'm stupid.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think you're stupid, so
It
that's
Didn't.
not a reason.
Well, sometimes I have trouble following things, as you know, and other
That's
people
true.
seem to manage it. But I don't think this was my fault this time.
Do you know the story about Michael?
We watched, Heartbeat, the TV show
yeah.
Heartbeat.
Mhm.
It's a very gentle sort of Sunday afternoon TV programme about a police station in a little village in Yorkshire in the 60s, and it's all meant to be, you're meant to just be able to like put it on and not think too much, and it's all nice and lovely. And we watched the same episode twice, because for some reason they put it on in the afternoon and in the evening. And I watched it both times. I had no idea what was going on. Partly because it's the same effect that, like, basically all white people look the same. Just these two guys who are having quite not even that complicated a relationship, but I couldn't tell the difference between them. That was really confusing me.
One of them's ginger, and one of them has black hair.
They were not that different. I couldn't remember which one's which anyway. And then there was this subplot. One of them had accused the other one of something, and one of them had faked something, and that didn't help. And then there was this subplot about people scamming this old lady with a stuffed sheep that was filled with drugs or something, but they never quite said that, and I just didn't understand it at all. It was rubbish. But this time, I think it was because the little girl spoke in quite difficult to understand English. I would miss bits of dialogue, and that didn't help.
I read that she didn't speak a lot of English, certainly at the beginning, and she wasn't an actor either. She was just had never acted.
She's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't seem like a child actor.
No.
She just seemed like a kid pretending they had a broken arm, sort of thing. It was, yeah.
Yeah, how is it that she can be so convincing with nothing, and yet actors that have worked their whole lives are not convincing? When do we forget how to act? Or is it just that adults are so much more complicated that it's more difficult to fake something?
Don't know.
It felt like she just needed to just say the words and it came out as... Right.
You have a lot more hang-ups and stuff as an adult, a lot more inhibitions and things.
Yeah, it's just that we get too nervous to act.
Maybe kids are just like, like they do that for fun, don't they? They play families or doctors and nurses. Like, sorry?
Mathematicians.
Yeah, they sometimes pretend to be mathematicians.
Did you play mathematicians?
Are you still playing mathematicians?
Yes.
You're doing it very convincingly.
Maybe all films should be acted by untrained children.
Have you ever seen Bugsy Malone?
Yeah.
Those are definitely trained children.
Terrible.
No, I
They've
don't think
gone
I've ever
past
seen
the
Haven't
innate
watched
ability
it.
to act by that
shame.
point. I think.
It's not great.
Yeah, maybe that.
It's got that one good song though. We could have been anything
That we wanted to be. Yeah, that's a good one.
We're the best
I
at
don't
being
really remember
bad.
it. Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Oh, and After Hours as well. That's a good
I
song.
don't remember that one.
Oh,
Fat Sam's Grand Sam's not bad.
that
I
wasn't.
remember that one.
They just used footage from the film in the music video for After Hours, I think.
Were the children of my girl trained children? Yes.
Gotta be.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, they were brilliant as well. My girl was good. I'm glad we didn't record an impromptu meeting after that because we were just
oh
kind
my
of
god.
all weeping. Yeah. I don't think I have anything else to say about the fall.
I think I said everything
Yeah.
Stunt actors in the olden days did really dangerous stuff.
Yeah,
I bet.
Seems
yeah.
like it.
Seems.
Based on the footage at the end.
And they were not
They
careful with
probably
animals.
still do, right? I mean, probably they still sign like contracts saying that the company is not responsible for anything.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Probably.
Yeah.
But I think they probably did make it a lot safer now.
Got to.
Certainly, like Buster Keaton and stuff like that. Surely they wouldn't
Yeah.
allow that.
Yeah.
The whole facade falling and he's standing. in the
Yeah,
window.
yeah.
They would just.
Well,
What a guy, though.
Yeah.
What a guy.
If you measure it carefully, that'll be fine.
I reckon they just green screen it or something.
Yeah, probably. Just green screen everything, right?
in that
That's
film,
Peter Jackson.
Bloody Peter
When I
Jackson.
was
Talking about you,
selling it.
Peter.
Yeah.
killed while filming the movie.
Who was?
Well, the horse.
Oh, I don't know about the horse.
Yeah.
Well,
I
it was
remember
killed,
pulling
and
the dead horse out of the
usually
water.
now modern films say that no animals
dead?
were.
Yeah.
It was a live
Oh,
horse.
was it? I know.
I don't know if that includes like the food that people are eating in the film.
Yes, I think
Yeah.
it is.
If I said
What
this
if that it does include it, and what if when you're filming, you are only allowed to have vegetarian food?
That'd be good.
Apparently, the horses in The Hobbit were very injured by what
Really?
they were doing. Yeah.
It was a shit film.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, if
Always.
the horse that plays Shadowfax had accidentally got injured during one of the incredible scenes in the Lord of the Rings, you'd kind of go like, "That's a shame," but man, was it worth it?
Would you?
Depends on the injury.
I hope
If it
he
got like
died a
bruised
proud
ribs
horse.
and was, if it got bruised ribs and was like a bit pissed off and it was an accident, then not the end of the world. But for the Hobbit, if it got a stubbed toe, I'm pissed off.
They don't even have toes, really, do they?
They don't even. Nothing seemed like it was real in the Hobbit. I'm surprised they even used real horses.
Was apparently the scene where the troll
I only saw the first one, so I don't even know.
is in the first one? Is it trolls?
Goblins?
No, troll. I think.
The stupid one.
Oh yeah, the three trolls.
The ones who get turned to
The
stone.
troll
Yes.
Yeah.
Are carrying 3 horses in their hands.
Oh, yeah.
So they are CGI. Well, it's partly CGI, but partly
Oh,
like
what?
something horrendous.
Absolute waste.
So they like built a giant mechanical claw that would pick up a
I
horse
think
and
so.
throw it
Yeah, I think
around,
that's what happened. That's
and
what I
then
read. I'm not
CGI'd
sure
in
if
the
it's-
trolls.
Yeah, I think that is.
Bloody hell. So I mean, yeah, so accidents happen, and that sucks. But also,
They buried 3 horses. This says 6 goats, 6 sheep, and a dozen chickens because of all the horrendous stuff with animals. Jesus Christ!
again, sheep and chickens. They probably killed more of them just for sandwiches on set in between shoots. For all we know, horses.
I don't think Findus were doing the catering.
No. I don't know what happens in New Zealand.
Sorry.
Well, that's a sad end.
Yeah.
But,
Something happy, anyone to end on?
It's nearly Christmas.
yay!
Yay.
Though this might not go out till after Christmas, so I might have just ruined the
I'll put this
illusion.
up in about 2 weeks, so yeah, probably around Christmas. Maybe I'll post it as a Christmas Day special. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas!
Sorry, I took the liberty there of shaking your back.
Please do.
Did you shake Michael's bells without his
I
permission?
did. Yeah, I'm really sorry. I should leave that to you.
Oh, that's what we needed, some saucy banter at the end of the episode. We can wrap up the meeting now.
Let's end this.
I was thinking
Well, no
maybe
hurry.
we can change the...
No,
Oh, wow.
absolutely not.
Well, I'm willing to.
I don't like change.
Just saying.
Took you
Okay.
took you long enough to get used to the hitting your chest thing.
Still not happy about it.
Okay, what's your new suggestion? Right
No,
now?
there will be no
go for
new
the,
suggestions.
No, please, I'm sorry. Please do it for the new suggestion.
I cannot find the video. Where is it? Mm-hmm. Oh, here it is.
No, put your new music on.
Is this a different
Put your new
recording?
music on. No, Fernando, put your new music
There's
on.
no new music!
There's a lot of conflict this meeting. Oh, we're out of time. Andale!
So, is it my turn now?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, yes.
You're not allowed to hold it.
You hold it, you draw.
Oh.
Michael!
Yay! Sorry, Laura.
No.
Is it the next Rocky film?
Oh, please pick Rocky 2.
I'm not going to pick Rocky 2.
Rocky 3?
Nor Rocky 3. I'm not going to pick any of the Rocky or Creed films.
No!
I've picked one that I've been looking forward to for a while. It's a bit off the
Oh, God.
off the track that we've been normally treading.
Really? We've got a normal track?
Yep, so this time we're going to watch Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island,
I think
which
I've
came
watched
out in
it.
1998.
Yeah, I think I've watched it. but-
Right, well, get ready to watch it again.
Fantastic.
Apparently it's the
That's
best
unexpected.
Scooby-Doo film ever.
Wait.